Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. So Dead by Daylight just put out quite an interesting tweet, essentially telling us that a lot of their DLCs are going to be on sale, and it seems they finally listened. We've been complaining about the grind for such a long time and telling them how bad it is in the game. There's been a lot of videos out there as well showing that the grind is just unbelievably difficult for new players to jump on into everything if you're not looking to spend some money. While Dead by Daylight have put out a tweet today saying that starting on January 8th, they're going to be serving up new ways to save on original chapter DLCs for the Gold Edition, including 3 new DLC packs and a permanent price reduction on select original DLC characters in the in-game store. Now, before we continue with this, I want to let you guys know we're live on Twitch right now. We're giving away some Chucky DLC codes, so if you are interested, come on over twitch.tv/theking. Okay, so let's talk about these deals. What did they actually do? Well, first and foremost, the biggest part of this is that there's a permanent price reductions on original chapters. From now on, every chapter from the Doctor's chapter that's original all the way to Michaela's chapter, and remember, only the original chapters, will be half off in the store. So you'll be able to buy these for a lot less shards. Essentially, if you would normally get one character for, 9,000 shards if I'm not mistaken, you'll now be able to get 2 for half the price. What makes this really awesome as well is that if you haven't actually used the code and used the shards that came with a code that said thank you for 60M, you essentially can buy 2 full survivors or killers, which is really, really cool, for absolutely free. You'll get them for absolutely free. Now, if you did use the code, that is a quite unfortunate ordeal. However, moving forward, you'll be able to get these characters for a much significantly lower price than you would normally be paying. This is really awesome. I'm really happy that they're doing this. The grind has essentially been reduced to half, and I'm sure in the future, if it still is an issue, they'll decide to adhere to that. Next thing that they're doing is starting on January 8th, they will introduce new DLC packs as a way for players to save on a wide selection of original chapters. Now, there is a stipulation to this. All the DLCs that are being currently sold in the game will no longer be sold as individuals. Meaning if you're buying this on the Xbox Store, PlayStation Store, if you're buying this on Steam, they won't be sold individually anymore. Instead, they're all going to be bundled together. So 3 DLC packs will now be bundled together at a cost of $20. So they have the Maddening Darkness pack. This will only be available for Steam and Windows, and the reason being is because the DLCs that are included, which is Of Flesh and Mud, the Hags DLC, Spark of Madness, the Doctor's DLC, are currently part of the base game on PlayStation and Xbox. So this DLC bundle is only for Steam and Windows and Epic, but the Flesh and Mud, Spark of Madness, Curtain Call, and Shattered Bloodline will all be bundled together for $20. The next pack they have is the Old Wounds pack, which is the Darkness Among Us chapter for the Legion, Demise of the Faithful for the Plague, Cursed Legacy for the Oni, and Chains of Hate for the Deathslinger will also be $20. And then we have the final one, which includes This and Beyond, which is the Blight, A Binding of Kin, which is the Twins, the All Kill for the Trickster, and Hour of the Witch, which is Michaela, for $20. Again, starting on January 8th, you will not be able to buy any of these DLCs as individuals in the store. You'll only be able to buy them in these bundles. Now, these prices are significantly cheaper because if you were to buy these DLCs as is standalone, they're about $8 each. So you're essentially saving yourself some good money. So if you do just want to buy one of these DLCs, you have until January 8th to do so. You will be paying a little bit extra in the long run, so you'll pay the full $8 when you could get all 4 as a cheaper bundle. But this is how Dead by Daylight's going to move forward. For DLCs that are coming out in the future, they'll all still be individual, and I'm assuming eventually they'll wrap them into bundles. And if you're looking to not spend any cash whatsoever, you're free to save up your shards and buy all of these chapters at a reduced overall price. So I'm happy. Dead by Daylight, they really listened. This is pretty cool. It might be a little confusing for everybody to understand at first, but I hopefully answered a lot of the questions that you guys may have had with this. The DLC packs together will essentially be cheaper, they'll be more valuable, and you won't have any of your DLCs removed. If you already have your DLCs, you'll keep them. If you already bought any DLCs whatsoever, those are yours to keep. Nothing else is going to happen for that. So yeah, that's essentially how it's going to be working from now on. I know there's probably some people that bought these DLCs earlier and they might be upset that, hey, I bought these earlier, what the heck? But essentially, if you bought them earlier at some point in time, you have them before anyone else does that are currently buying the DLCs, so you have the luxury of playing them earlier, and that's where that premium price comes from. Now that the DLCs are quite old, you gotta think that the Hag DLC is super old. Some of these bundles are really, really old. It's just nicer for the new players to enjoy something, so yeah. With that being said, that is pretty awesome news. I'm looking forward to all of these cheaper sharded DLCs, and hopefully you guys can get your hands on some of them. Again, if you haven't already used the Blood Point code and the Shard code, I highly recommend waiting until January 8th to buy 2 full characters for essentially half off. And if you don't know exactly what the code is, I'll display it on screen right now for you guys. You guys can put that in the Dead by Daylight store, get yourself some free shards, and then get yourself 2 new characters on January 8th. With that being said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. Again, we are live on Twitch. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.